Your Toyota hybrid throws a warning, the car suddenly behaves differently or something just doesn't feel right, and your mind immediately jumps to the most expensive possibility. Maybe it's the hybrid battery, maybe it's the inverter, maybe it's the transaxle. Suddenly, you're imagining a repair bill that could run into thousands of dollars, and that reaction is understandable. Toyota's hybrid system contains expensive components, and when something goes wrong, the symptoms aren't always obvious enough for an owner to know exactly where the problem is coming from. But here's the mistake: assuming the most expensive component is automatically the failed component. A warning message doesn't tell you which part needs replacing. A change in driving behavior doesn't necessarily mean a major component has failed, and even a serious-looking symptom can have more than one possible cause. Let's start with the repair owners fear most: the hybrid battery. One of the easiest conclusions to jump to is the hybrid battery is failing. Maybe the battery gauge is behaving differently. Maybe the engine is running more often. Maybe fuel economy has dropped, the car feels weaker, or a hybrid warning has appeared. But none of those symptoms, by themselves, proves the traction battery needs to be replaced. The battery can be affected by things around it, including temperature, cooling airflow, and the battery's control system. And a hybrid warning can point to a problem somewhere else in the system rather than a failed battery pack. There's also an important distinction between a battery with a problem and a battery that's completely dead. The traction battery is made up of multiple cells or modules, and the vehicle constantly monitors their voltage and performance. A problem affecting one section doesn't necessarily mean the entire pack has suddenly become unusable. That's why diagnosis matters. The vehicle's fault codes, battery data, and system behavior can help determine whether the problem is actually inside the battery or somewhere else affecting its operation. And this is where owners can save themselves from an unnecessary major repair. A battery-related warning doesn't automatically mean order a new battery. The technician still needs to establish what caused the warning in the first place. So before going from hybrid warning to $3,000 plus battery replacement, make sure there's evidence that the battery itself has failed. Because sometimes the battery isn't the expensive problem. The inverter is the next component that gets blamed. The inverter is another repair Toyota hybrid owners really don't want to hear about. It's a critical part of the hybrid system because it manages the electrical power moving between the high-voltage battery and the motor generators. And when an inverter-related warning appears, it's easy to assume the entire unit has failed. But that's where owners can get into trouble. The inverter depends on its cooling system to control its operating temperature. If coolant circulation isn't working properly, temperatures can rise and trigger warnings or reduced hybrid performance. Electrical connections, sensors, wiring, and other components can also create faults that appear to involve the inverter. And there's an important difference between an inverter fault code and a physically failed inverter. The code tells the technician where the system detected a problem. It doesn't automatically mean the solution is to replace the most expensive component connected to that system. So the correct diagnosis has to determine whether the inverter itself is damaged or whether something around it caused the system to report a fault. Because the same principle applies to another repair owners often fear: the hybrid transaxle. Then there's the transmission, or more accurately, the hybrid transaxle. Toyota's hybrid transaxle works very differently from a conventional automatic. It combines the power split mechanism with the motor generators, so the sounds and sensations it produces can be unfamiliar if you're used to a traditional transmission. That makes a new whine, hum, vibration, or change in drivetrain sound particularly concerning. It's easy to hear something unusual and immediately think, the transmission is going bad. But the sound alone doesn't tell you what's actually failing. A noise from the transaxle area could involve bearings, fluid condition, or another component transmitting noise through the drivetrain. The location can also be deceptive. A component elsewhere in the vehicle can produce a sound that seems to be coming directly from the transaxle. There are also differences between normal operating sounds and developing mechanical problems. A hybrid's motor generators can produce sounds that don't resemble what you'd hear from a conventional automatic transmission, especially during acceleration or regenerative braking. And because the transaxle combines several important components in one assembly, genuine internal damage can become an expensive repair. That's precisely why the source of the noise should be confirmed before anyone recommends replacing the entire unit. A technician may need to consider when the noise occurs, whether it changes with speed or acceleration, and whether it appears during electric driving, engine operation, or braking. Those details can help narrow down what's actually happening. Two other areas can cause unnecessary panic: the engine and the brakes. Start with the engine. A Toyota hybrid engine can behave very differently from a conventional car. It may shut off at a stop, restart unexpectedly, run after you've already been driving, or suddenly run more often than you're used to. That doesn't automatically mean the engine is failing. The hybrid system can increase engine operation because of battery state, cabin temperature, power demand, or current driving conditions. So an engine that seems unusually active may simply be responding to what the hybrid system needs at that moment. The brakes are a little different. Toyota hybrids combine regenerative braking with conventional friction brakes, which means braking can feel different from a traditional gasoline vehicle. You may notice a change in pedal feel, hear unfamiliar sounds, or feel the braking transition differently at low speeds. That can be concerning, but the sensation alone doesn't tell you that the brake system needs a major repair. What matters is identifying what has actually changed. Is there a warning light? Has stopping performance changed? Is there a persistent noise? Does the symptom happen during regenerative braking or when the friction brakes are being applied? Those details can help separate a normal characteristic from a genuine mechanical or hydraulic problem. So an engine that runs more often isn't automatically a failed engine, and unfamiliar brake behavior isn't automatically a failed brake system. The symptom needs to be matched to an actual fault before the expensive repair begins. The biggest mistake isn't having a major hybrid problem. It's approving a major repair before confirming that the expensive component has actually failed. So if you're told that you need a hybrid battery, inverter, or transaxle, ask 3 simple questions. What fault code or test identified the problem? What other possible causes were checked? What specifically confirms that this component has failed? Those questions can make a big difference, especially when several components can produce similar symptoms. For example, a warning code can identify the system where a problem was detected, but the code itself may not prove that the most expensive component in that system has failed. A technician still needs to interpret the code alongside the vehicle's data and other test results. The same applies to unusual noises or changes in vehicle behavior. The more specific the diagnosis, the more confidently you can separate the actual failure from something that simply produces a similar symptom. And this is where a proper diagnosis becomes especially valuable. If a repair recommendation is based on "that's what usually causes this," that's very different from having test results that point directly to the failed component. You can also ask whether the recommended repair is replacing a failed component or simply replacing a component suspected of causing the problem. Those aren't the same thing. Of course, sometimes the expensive repair really is necessary. A failed battery, inverter, or transaxle isn't something you can talk your way out of. The point is to confirm it before you pay for it. Because with a Toyota hybrid, the smartest repair isn't necessarily the cheapest one. It's the one supported by the diagnosis.